Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So XRP back on a tear. I have the chart up here on the hourly, and just a couple of days ago we saw a high for XRP going right back up to $1.09. Over yesterday we saw it come right back down to 91 cents. Now we're seeing it climb again. So XRP right now trading at about $1.04, and Bitcoin also climbing. So we are seeing a correlation yet again with the cryptocurrency market. I know yesterday I did a video about the decoupling of XRP from Bitcoin, and when you take a look at the chart on the macro time frame, you can see that there has been some evidence to suggest that. I'll link that video up there if you guys didn't catch it. Right now though, Bitcoin climbing up to $46,300. But the real question we have to ask ourselves is, are we going to see more price appreciation in the short term, or are we going to see again another prolonged retracement where we could see XRP, just kind of come down and around and then back below the 91 cent level? Well, I'm going to take a look at that a little bit later in this video, guys. I wanted to point to some broader theories with regards to the cryptocurrency market. I saw this from Michael at Val5 Links. Crypto is no longer in the early adoption stage. Do you remember all throughout 2018, 2019 when some of us in the XRP community were thinking, this bear market is never going to end, and others were pointing out we are still in the early adoption phase. So it's going to take some time for this industry to really mature. Well, apparently, BITRUE's global CEO says that we are past that. So the crypto industry began with Bitcoin's launch in 2019, as we know, flowering into a bustling industry filled with many different assets and blockchain-based solutions in the years following. The sector, however, is no longer in its infancy, according to BITRUE's global CEO, Steven Stonberg. I think we're already past the stage of crypto early adoption, Stonberg told Cointelegraph. He said, crypto has now gone mainstream. We have double-digit percentage adoption in both developed and developing countries. We even have Bitcoin adopted as legal tender in a country, and many other countries are considering adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. So, of course, he means El Salvador, when the government officially gave the nod in June 2021, making the asset a legal tender across the country. The BTC green light in El Salvador means businesses must allow the asset as a form of payment in the region. So every business now has to accept Bitcoin, and businesses are setting up for that in El Salvador. So it's interesting to note, and again, this coming from BITRUE's CEO, in developed and developing countries, we have seen cryptocurrency growth in the double digits. And to this point here, with regards to the El Salvador story, another one from Michael, the president of Argentina, has indicated that there's no reason why the country would push back against potential Bitcoin adoption. So now Argentina also saying this. El Salvador's decision to adopt BTC as a legal tender has rattled the cages in Central and South America. Argentina's president was the latest to showcase support to some extent in a recent interview. So here are some highlights. Speaking to the local media outlet Caja Negra, Alberto Fernandez touched on the topic of digitization and where the country stands on it. More specifically, he received a question whether Argentina will look into launching its own central bank digital currency, or perhaps even adopting Bitcoin as legal tender as well. And here's what he said: I don't want to go too far out on a limb, but there is no reason to say no. Perhaps that is a good path to take. He added that most significant advantage of going with BTC route is that the inflationary effect is largely nullified because of the asset's maximum supply of 21 million coins ever to exist. This particular issue is what Argentina has been struggling with over the years. In June 2021 alone, consumer prices increased by more than 3%. Thus, analysts concluded that the 12-month inflation rate has grown above 50%. So 50% in 1 year inflation in this country in particular. Some countries it's a lot worse. And so, the country's president saying, I don't see why not. I don't see what the downside is to go with Bitcoin, considering it is so deflationary. We have only seen the price of Bitcoin go up and up and up. Compared to the US dollar, just as an example, the purchasing power of the US dollar has gone down over the years. So an interesting way to look at things, considering, a lot of these countries, their currencies have been prone to hyperinflation over the last several decades. Now, the administration in some of these countries realizing Bitcoin could be a better option. So just another point to cryptocurrency adoption in South America, particularly. This from XRP Scan, guys, and I just wanted to bring this update to you. Minor enhancement. Live feed of the total XRP supply burnt by the XRPL is now available on the homepage. We've been burning fees since since donkey's years. And so they just screen grabbed just a sample of that. If you actually go to the website here, XRP Scan, you guys can see here it is. In real time, you guys can see these are the validated ledgers, and you guys can see the XRP that is being burnt in real time off the ledger. And, this is part of how XRP maintains its stability. It helps to prevent fraud. There's a lot that goes into the XRPL and, all the validator nodes that go along with that. I mean, this channel isn't so much a technical channel talking about the ins and outs of the technology. I leave that up to the techie guys. Nevertheless, it is another interesting advancement on xrpscan.com. So great news there for those of you guys interested to see the details there. I'll link this in the description of the video if you want to go back to it. And this from BondCrypt XRP, just quickly, with regards to the amount of XRP moving, more XRP is moving, guys. So Whale Alert, a platform that tracks large amounts of cryptocurrency moved, has spotted 5 large transfers carrying a total of 138 million XRP. This is equivalent to about $137.5 million in USD in fiat currency. Meanwhile, XRP, the 6th most popular digital currency, has rolled back to the $1 level after a recent surge to $1.09. Well, this article does not mention that it did go down as low as 91 cents. We are seeing it now back above the dollar level, at least as of the time of this recording. According to the data shared by Whale Alert, over the past 24 hours, several of the top flight crypto exchanges, along with the Ripple fintech behemoth, have transferred the equivalent of $137.5 million in crypto, or rather 138 million XRP coins. The 5 crypto transactions detected by Whale Alert carried a minimum of 13 million XRP and a maximum of 50 million. Among the senders are Binance, Huobi, and BITRUE. So XRP, large quantities of XRP moving across these exchanges. Ripple shifted 20 million XRP from its RL18 -VN wallet to its Mexico partner Bitso. So that's the latest in the XRP moving across the XRP network. Large quantities of XRP. We are seeing price really rally. But is this a fake out, guys? Are we going to see price go right back down to where it went? Or are we going to see price rally yet again? Now, there is some evidence to suggest if we take a look at historical patterns and we take a look at this particular pattern, we know we have seen this before. So we have seen a huge pump up for XRP in the past, followed by this double bottom bounce, the retrace up to this level here. But now the question is, where does it go from here? And I know a lot of you guys have been getting really excited. I know we have been waiting for XRP to pump for quite a while now. The last time we saw a high for XRP was back in mid-April. And so for those of you guys holding XRP, I know you've been waiting. You've been waiting what seems like a donkey's year, I'm sure. But we got to look at the charts and we got to see, historically, when we've seen these types of structures, these types of chart structures, where will XRP go next? All right, so I'm going to clear this off the chart right now, and I'm going to go back to that latest crash that we saw for the XRP price. Now, here is what we saw back in the bull run of 2018. What we saw, that strong move up for XRP, right? The crash, double bounce, and then it came back up to this level here, right? That same kind of thing, and what we saw after that was a bear market moving further below this level. And I know this is probably the most pessimistic way we can look at this. Down below this double bottom here, forming new lows, and that is indeed a sign of a bearish trend. Now, I'm sorry, I said this was 2017. This wasn't. I have this on the hourly. This is actually that April correction that we saw recently. So that gives some more context here. I think it is important to note that these trends do look similar. This run up for XRP does look very similar to the 2017 bull run. We did see that correction retrace back up, and I'm not going to compare it to 2017 right now. I use TradingView for this, so if you guys want to do that, you can do it on your own time. The point I wanted to make here was that this, after the double bounce, retracing back up here, goes back further below that double bounce. And just to kind of put things into perspective here, if I were to put a Fibonacci on here, where do we get up to here? If I bring it from the top of this run that we saw back in April, when XRP hit about $1.96, coming right back down here to about 91 cents. Where did we rebound to? Well, we rebounded to the 0.786, right in and around here. Okay, so a rebound to the 0.786 before the trend turned on itself, making its way back down lower lows. Let's see what the flip side of that is. And, if you go even closer in here, you guys can see, and I'm going to just zoom in on this section right over here. All right. You guys can see a similar trend here, the shoot up, this move up, fast move up, right? The double bounce here gets up to this level here, retraces, doesn't make lower lows. And then what happens there? Well, the price breaks this high up here and moves to new highs. So in this case, let's just get rid of some of that there. Okay, in this case, throwing a Fibonacci here, what do we see? Well, we throw a Fibonacci here. We bring it from the top of that trend to the bottom, and trying to zoom in here as best I can. What did we see? XRP retracing to the 0.786 here. Came right back down here to the 0.5, but then broke through, retraced again, back to the 0.618, boom, and then out of there. So 2 separate times where we saw that double bounce, that run up, double bounce, came right back up to the 0.786. In this case here, XRP shot up to higher highs, which is great, but if we zoom out again and kind of look at that broader picture, there was April 2021 as well, where we saw that double bounce, and you guys can see this trend is far more elongated, right? It took place over a longer period of time, but you can see the same pattern there, run up, double bounce, and it hit that 0.786 before it moved further down to about 64 cents, 65 cents, give or take. So we have seen this pattern in the past, right? The run up, right back down again, double bounce, coming back up to the 0.786 in both of these cases. However, in scenario number 1, which this was the first one I showed you guys, it came back down, making newer lows, back down to 65 cents. And in scenario 2, it only retraced to the 0.5, went right back up again, and then made new highs. So then the question remains, where are we today? Or is this even a similar kind of pattern? Well, let me show you guys. Throw the Fibonacci on here, bring it right back down to the trough, and look at where we are, guys. Right up here, you can see this wick here on this candlestick did come up to the 0.786. Now we are kind of hovering around the 0.702, which is good news. Now, you got to remember, some things to note here, and some things that we should probably be paying attention to. After this move up in this April trend, we saw XRP come right back down to the 0.382 with high negative selling pressure. I don't know if you guys can see that in there. High negative selling pressure, dipping right back down, coming back up, not really being able to form higher highs after that. So retracing the first time to the 0.702, then to the 0.618, coming back down, not being able to get above the 0.5 until later, tried to retrace again, and then finally forming new lows. So we saw this dip go far deeper down than we did in this case over here. So if we look at the positive example here where we did retrace from when we did retrace from the 786 and then finally move our way up. Here, let me just zoom in here. I'm just going to try to zoom in as best I can on this because this trend clearly didn't happen over as long of a period of time, but you guys can see here up to the 0.786. Where we did come back to was the 0.5, so didn't come back down past the 0.382. Not a lot of heavy volume on that. We saw minimal volume spiked by a few heavy negative selling pressure bars, volume bars down here, but ultimately very, very low pressure. Rebounded to the 0.5, came back up to the 0.786, rebounded, and then came out of that. So this trend here, characteristic with low buying and selling pressure, highlighted by, just to play devil's advocate, a few long red volume bars down here, but mostly low volume before it really took off in here. Whereas this trend here, if I can go back to this over here, all right, we have a lot of selling pressure, it dipping below the 0.5, coming right back down in this region, coming up, making lower highs over here, okay, before coming back down again to the 0.382, up, trying to retrace past the 0.786, couldn't do it, and then made lower lows. So fast forward to today, and if we bring the chart right back over here, what are we seeing on this chart on the hourly? Well, we are seeing this retrace first to the 0.786, then it came back down, it tried to touch the 0.618, which isn't a very deep correction at all, and we're seeing the trend move up yet again. Now, this is still yet to play out. Again, this is on the hourly. And so throughout the day, we are likely going to get a better picture of how this is going to go. For now, the 0.786, retraced up here. We haven't even gone down to the 0.5. And by the way, if we did go down to the 0.5, that would bring us to a price point of roughly $1. If we go below $1 and we retrace past the 382, that would bring us to about 98 cents, give or take. But even in that example, it came right back down to about 96, 95 cents would be an equivalent to where it would come down to. So somewhere in and around here. All right. So definitely some things to be eyeing today and tomorrow, how this trend is going to play out over the next few hours. If I were to guess, and this is just speculation. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know for sure. I'm going to throw this on the daily. But if I were to guess, considering we have recently seen this run up here. Let me just clear all that out of the way. Considering we have recently seen this run up for XRP back in April, we did see that deep correction. We've already kind of experienced this over the last 2 or 3 months with a huge correction down, forming this double bounce on the daily, moving up again. All right, so my thought is, and again, we're now looking at this on the daily and not the hourly. My thought is, on the daily, this is this part of the trend, the double bounce, making our way up. So chances are the 0.786 or the 0.702, this is where we stand to end up over the next few days, which would bring us to about $1.52, $1.53 for XRP. So if I were to just put a price label on there, that would be at the 0.702. If we make it up to the 0.786, that would bring us up to $1.65. So if we look at it from the macro time perspective and don't focus in on the micro, my thoughts are, since we have just seen this crashing structure, we have just corrected more than 50%. The entire crypto market is in recovery mode. I think we're going to see $1.52 to $1.65 at some point in the near future. I don't think we're going to make lower lows, guys, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.